Hello everyone, it's me Pavlo with your cost-efficient daily dose of Ukrainian accent. Today we are talking about great budget-friendly earphones Dunu Titan X. Dunu are pretty well known for their expertise in the creation of different earphones, and the Titan for many years was their signature series, offering a great sound quality for a pretty affordable price. And this time they decided to go even deeper into the budget segment, and price of these earphones is just $35. I will add the link to the store in the description, of course. But despite of this pleasant price, they offering great sound signature and great build quality and overall presentation. So really interesting model, stay with me and I will show it to you. Package is small, pretty minimalistic, just model name, company's logo and big letter X. On the rear side you get technical specifications as usual, 16 ohms of impedance and 105 decibels of sensitivity per milliwatt, so pretty normal average figures. Inside of the box you're getting headphones themselves and the bag with accessories. So let's dive in. Despite of affordable price, actually pretty good presentation and set of accessories. So here in the box you'll get a bunch of different tips, even cleaning tool, not sure how useful it is. Let's try to open bags carefully. As usual, I won't much succeed in that, so gray silicone tips, rounded ones with nice isolation and good fit for wide channels. Then classical and dark gray with red centers and something colorful in this bag. So let's see what we are getting here. Nice white, almost sticky silicone ones. So as you can see, presentation and accessory set is pretty great. Design and materials are really good even for $100 IEMs. I'm not even speaking for $35. Shells are made of metal, and Dunu selected really interesting color and texture for the shells. They look pretty appealing. Minimalistic faceplate with letter X, and the inner part is machined from a solid piece of metal. There is a proper angled spout with lip and protective grille, so all small nuances and details are in place. Passive sound isolation is slightly above average thanks to well thought shape, and the wearing comfort is great because of smooth edges, at least for my ears. Cable is made replaceable. Here used classical 2-pin connectors with slightly recessed socket, but not too much. It will be compatible with vast majority of connectors. Stock cable is also pretty nice. It's not something audiophilic, but it's well made. There is a ear hook and it's braided. It's not super soft, but on the softer side of things. It looks nice and reliable. Here is a splitter with chin slider. As you can see, they've used metal splitter, so looks nice. And it matches the design of the connector, so also in terms of exterior, it's much more than I can wish for this price range. In terms of the sound, it's fun sounding V-shaped earphones with a hint of extra warmth and slightly smooth sound, but of course without sacrificing much of significant details. So bass is pretty deep, it's accented, but main accent is made on the mid bass. In my opinion, it's the way it should be, but of course for those who like deep bass and for those who like rumbly foundation, it probably can be a bit lacking of deeper bass. But in my opinion, it's enough of low bass to build a foundation for the rest of the track, and on top of that, you getting really nice accented weighty bass with good texturing and healthy amount of small nuances and detail to sound realistic and enjoyable. And the first example, it's Julienne Taylor, Toybox. Nice bass accompanying great vocal and typical for audiophilic recordings, pleasant contrast between bass and mid frequencies. And Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, great bass line, played in a nice and enjoyable way, and overall really good foundation for the track, and also great contrast with mids. Bass transitions to mid frequencies pretty smoothly. There is a hint of additional weight on the lower mids, but on the middle mids and upper mids you won't get extra weight, and upper mids are boosted not too much, but in a noticeable way to compensate low frequencies and to give you extra spiciness and crispness in sound. They're not overdoing that, but this accent is present. Imaginary stage is above average, both in width and in depth. It's not huge, but really nice and accurately built. They are not critical for the quality of records, but you definitely can try different remasters and so on. So if you'd like to play these audiophilia games, they are okay for that. First example, it's Largo by Arne Domnérus and Gustaf Sjökvist, and it's a great recording with a lot of space and airness. These earphones lacking a bit of staging for that, but still you getting great immersion into the church where this track was recorded. Absolutely outstanding record in terms of quality and staging, so really recommend it. And Rebel Yell by Billie Idol. Because of the slightly added weight, this track has accented bass line, which is slightly dominating, but still sounds pretty pleasant, and all keyboards and vocals sound with nice cleanness and crispness. And the treble, there is a slight accent on the lower treble, then treble is slightly reduced in terms of energy to sound comfortable. Overall quality is pretty nice, extension is not superb, but above average, and it's, like good basic treble with basic overtones and the okayish extended overtones. So, of course, no layering or something audiophilic, but still a pretty good amount of high frequencies, not accented. It's not the model for those who like airy, crispy treble, boosted, and so on. The treble here is slightly on the comfortable side of things, but from the technical standpoint, it delivers a pretty solid performance for this price range. First example, it's One More Cup of Coffee by Robert Plant. Lot of percussion and the vocal overtones go to high frequency area, lacking a bit of layering for this track, but still sounds pretty pleasant. And Grown Folks by Snarky Puppy, almost the same. Of course, better layering and extended overtones will be nice, and maybe a bit more accent on the high frequencies, but still overall quality is pretty solid and sound really nice. In terms of pairing, they are pretty efficient, but some decent dongle deck will be a good addition to these earphones to give them better control than regular smartphone or tablet. Speaking about the comparisons, two recent models in the similar price range I reviewed. First one is Kozoi D1. They have a pretty similar bass in terms of quantity and making accents on the mid bass. On the mid frequencies here, you'll get a slightly warmer lower mids and slightly more forward upper mids, while Kozoi trying to be a bit less fun and accented on the mid frequencies. And on the high frequencies, Kozoi is a bit forward, and here you're getting slightly more relaxed signature, but here you'll get slightly better attacks and decays. And the Fios JH13, more V-shaped, more accented on the high frequencies, with faster attacks and decays in the treble area, giving you more airiness and sparkle in the high frequencies, so more fun versus more comfortable type of sound signature. Overall, for this price, it's a really great pair of earphones, especially if you're looking for a fun and comfortable signature, but of course not overdone. And as a pleasant bonus, you'll get great accessories, superb design, and nice look. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course, have a great day.